Okay, we're live inside the group. Just guys, before we go ahead, want to make sure that the sound and everything is okay. If you can hear my voice, please let me know so we can go ahead and get started. With me here is Godi, and he's the main investor in Mailivery. Many of you guys know him from the groups, probably because he's also an LTD guy, and he is the CEO and founder of, co-founder or founder of OneTool.co. But this is a different
Co-founder.
invest.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Co-founder or founder? Founder.
Well, technically both, but I have a really good right hand. His name is Toby, so we're two of us, co-founder for sure.
Okay, perfect. Co-founder. Okay, excellent. And so, guys, again, Gordy is the brother of the main guy who is also running Mailivery, Andy. You guys seen him in the last interview. So we wanted to, clear everything, give a different perspective, and answer some of the questions you guys had, because there's so many questions that have been coming. But if you can hear my voice properly, please let me know. We have been having problem with the sound and everything here. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same boat. So let's see here. I see there are people joining the live, but I don't know if everything is good. Please let me know. Do you guys hear the voice properly? I want to make sure we don't get into problem like last time without the sound being very clear. So please ask your questions, and we'll go ahead. And if there is okay questions, any questions? Okay, about the sound, about the voice. Is everything okay? Can you hear? About the sound, about the voice. Is everything okay? It looks honestly, it looks clear on my end. I tried on the phone as well. So let's go ahead, guys. Ask as many questions as possible as you have, but let's ask questions here. So so give us a quick intro about yourself. Who are you? How are you connected to Mailivery?
Cool, will do. Yeah, Mohammed, thanks for having me. My name is Gordy.
Great.
Nice to be here with you guys. I am also a very big lifetime deal fan. Actually have bought over, I think, like 50 deals or so in the last year or so. A lot, definitely a lot. Um, yeah, I'm 32 years old. I am the main investor in Mailivery, and my brother, who is running Mailivery together with Thomas, they asked me to just put a little bit my perspective on what is going on and why these guys founded Mailivery with my major investment. A little bit background of myself. Like I have been in the sales outreach market for over not 9 years now. Like I started my first mass outreach campaigns in 2012 when I was still in university. And actually, I used it as a way to get into university. And then I used it as a way to get my first job. And then I used it as a way to scale my first startup. And now I am like four startups deep, like, getting older, 32 years old now. And my recent startup, you probably know, is OneTool. It's a Y Combinator startup. We are based in Silicon Valley. I am right now in Berlin, where it's our second office. And yeah, OneTool happened to become a Y Combinator company. And what we're doing with OneTool is that we are approaching lots of different SaaS vendors and we manage all of them in one place, which means I see dozens of different SaaS tools every day. I love lifetime SaaS tools. I love MRR SaaS tools. But there's one specific thing that I never really had a chance of, being satisfied with. And that's why I invested in Mailivery. Because if you actually look into the sales outreach space out there, then you will realize that a lot of people nowadays do it. Now, when I started doing that in 2012, no one was doing it. I had to develop custom scripts, and back then, not even yet another mail merge or something like that was live. And then you could send out mass sequences and so on. But now that everyone is doing it, and there's hundreds of tools out there doing mass outreach, like I don't know, lifetime deals like Outplay or Snowview or Lemlist, or more sophisticated platforms like Outreach.io or so. Yeah, um, it's getting incredibly hard to get recognized by people that you want to reach, especially in the cold outreach space. And then when I actually looked into that market, I've been using a lot of mail warmers because mail warmers, they always present you the same thing. They say, hey, you connect to our email address, then we will send emails back and forth, and from that, your reputation will increase. But what actually happens is sometimes even the opposite. And my brother, who is the founder of Mailivery, he experienced the same thing when we were sitting at one point at a dinner table and talking about his experiences that he gathered. And that's why I decided to invest in my brother with my experience also that I have in outreach emails to make the best email warm up, but not only email warm up, the email reputation tool out there that exists in the market. And by best, I mean the most granular, most sophisticated ones, because if you're just like the other ones, you're not being better, and then you're not outperforming the market.
Right. Okay. Good. Excellent. So, I know that today we're talking about email reputation, and you of course touched a little bit of why it's so important to you, and why is this topic so important to you. Can you give us a quick idea of why is this topic so important, and why is it that because there's so many warming tools out there, how is Mailivery different from any of these? Why would anybody want to pick up this deal a little bit pricier, to be honest, compared to the competition right now? Why do you think people should go with Mailivery over something like, let's say, quickly, um, any other sales tools out there like SalesRock? That's which is giving now free. Was it five stack for only $49? I don't know, $129, something like that. Do you
Cool. Okay, I hear
connect
a lot of questions.
a lot of questions all in one
Let me try
place?
to
Break them
let me
down.
try
Yes.
to get into them one after one.
Hmm.
So first of all, why is my brother doing it? Why is Thomas doing it? And why do I invest in this so actively? First of all, because I tried all email warm-up tools out there and they don't work. Like some of them even destroyed our reputation. You must imagine, like at one tool, we are investing heavily in cold outreach emails, and we're sending a lot of emails there. And I would consider myself one very sophisticated outreach expert when it comes to that. And when we measured if we actually land in the inbox more often before we use these outreach email warm-up tools or after, we realized that some of them even harm your reputation. Now, let me explain you what that even means, because I think some of the people, can I share my screen here somehow?
Yes, you can. Yes. Let me see
Wait
here.
1 second. Let me see if I can share this here.
Are you okay?
Yes, I asked my brother to give me something which explains the whole concept behind Mailivery. Yeah. You must imagine when you are doing outreach, and it doesn't matter if it's newsletter campaigns or sales outreach or you're sending normal emails. Normally, for your normal cold outreach emails, the average response rate is 1%. Yeah, that's the real response rate of your normal emails that you send out. Means if you send 100 emails out, you get one response out of that if it's cold outreach. Now, what happens is if you only do that, or if you do that a lot, spam filters and Google and so on, they will realize that your response rate is low because 1% is lower than a natural response rate. Like if you were not doing any sales outreach or any email campaigns or something like that, your normal outreach like response rate would be anywhere 5 to 10%. Yeah. So what email warmers do in general is they say, hey, connect to my account and I will send out emails on your behalf to inboxes that are connected to my service. And then I will respond from these to these emails. So just to give you an example here, if we set a response rate in Mailivery to 30% and we send out 20 emails, we get 6 responses. And now what we have to do to see the real use case of this is we've got to put these two things into one box. Because in total now, we sent out 100 plus 20 wins 120 emails. Now we got 7 responses, 1 plus 6, or otherwise 1 plus 6. Yeah, means all of a sudden we don't have a response rate of 1%, but we have a response rate of 6%, which is completely normal with just normal emails. And what happens to that? If it's completely normal, then spam filters don't think you are a spammer. And spam filters don't think you are a cold outreach email guy who only sends emails unsolicited to people. They actually think you are a normally using email sender. And that's the whole concept behind Mailivery. And I'm not sure if my brother actually shared that, but I asked him to give me his dashboard again, just to get into that. This is how Mailivery looks like. It looks very simple, but the complexity is behind it. You have an email account connected to it. In this case, it is tbron737@gmail.com. Now, this email account is connected either via SMTP or via G Suite, Gmail, any Google authentication method. Yeah, and you can actually see that here when you click on the wheel up there, what your credentials are to connect this account. You can also test it here. But what you do here now is when you first connect your email account, you scale up your email sending volume slowly so that spam filters realize that you're actually starting to get responses to your emails and that you increase your reputation. Now, how do you do that? Well, you probably start here on the right hand side with a very low number. Let's say 4 emails a day and a response rate of maybe 20%. And then a day later, or a few days later, you do 6 emails a day, and then you do 25%. Now, what you will see in other warm-up tools is that they have something which is called ramp up. Ramp up automatically ramps up the emails every day, like 2 or 3 a day. But even that, think about natural behavior. It's not natural. And spam filters realize when something is not natural. So it's completely okay if you start with 5 and then after 2 days you go to 7 and then after maybe 3 days you go to 15. Yeah. But the real danger here is to overdo it. If you do not send a lot of sales emails out and your inbox is pretty warm anyway, then don't stretch it. Don't ask for limits that go like to 70 or 75 because too much also hurts your reputation. But in general, what you can see here, yeah, on this side, you can set up the number of Mailivery emails that you want to send out each day, and you can set up a response rate. Now, let me tell you, a response rate for under 100 emails a day of 20% is more than enough. Like, you really only need a 40-50% response rate, if any, if you are like a highly sophisticated sender out there that normally suffers from really, really low average response rates. Now, what this dashboard is showing you on the one side is how these emails are going out and where they land. And what you see is with this email is, well, out of the 30 emails that we sent in the last 3 days since we connected this text account, I guess, all of them actually landed in the inbox. But assuming some of them land in spam, then what the system does is it takes that email and marks it as, hey, this is not spam, this is trusted, and then moves it into the inbox. And by that, also spam filters are getting told that you're not sending spam, but you're actually sending valuable, real content and real emails. So overall, it will show you your all-time report, which will build up over like several weeks and months. And here, just the recent behavior, which shows you if you're doing something really wrong with your emails, because if all of a sudden the spam rate goes really high, you're doing something wrong with your normal emails. And then because you also get responses, it's also important to see where your responses are landing, because a thread belongs together. Just because you're sending out an email and someone else responds doesn't mean it's not spam. And that's what you can see here. If a response email also lands in spam, same thing, we take it out of the inbox here and or we take it out of spam and mark it as trusted and put it back in the inbox. And so what this does in a nutshell is very simple dashboard, but it gives you an easy overview of what's being used and what's being happening with your emails that are related to sales cold outreach. You can always stop your campaign over here and start your campaign again.
Okay, quick question. And so is that the scheduling feature is not yet live, right? This scheduling feature is not live, is it?
As far I would have to ask Andy, but as far as I know, it's not live. It's probably coming in a few weeks.
Okay, perfect. So the question that you're saying here is that the way you set up the frequency, the way you control over the reply rate, these are very important, right? Because you don't want to.
These are the two major things, and especially this one, reply rate. A lot of email outreach warm-up tools don't allow you to control. But yes, you've got to balance this one carefully. They are the major things.
Perfect. Okay,
Now,
excellent.
what you can also see here in this, you can see it when you go to your profile. I know Andy got a lot of questions about agency deals and I don't know some team management capabilities and so on. Like you can invite your team here, yeah, and you do it really easily if you just add a user, yeah, you enter an email address. Whoops, it's probably the wrong one. 1 second, let me go back. Oh, did I close it? 1 second. Okay, now you should see again. But the team management functionality is pretty easy. Yeah, you just type in an email address and then you can add a user and say how many email accounts should be available to that user. Yeah. Now in this case, I only have 4 email accounts available, but then I could basically invite someone and give him access to 4 email accounts, as long as I purchase more than 4 email accounts, of course. Yeah. And then for a user, this will actually look like, let me see if I have it open. Yeah, will look like this, where he has his own dashboard. Yeah, he can see set up his own email address. It does not matter. The email that you invite to and the email he can connect, they can be 2 separate things. They don't have to be the same. But yes, and then here in this case, I think I invited this user with 2 email addresses, and this guy can now add 2 email addresses. And the special thing about this is that the admin can always see every email address if he wants to. Yeah. Any questions so far, Mohammed?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. So my question now is, can you differentiate Mailivery from any other email warming services, like in general? What is the difference?
Yes,
Oh.
really, really good question. And I think this is also where it's a little bit the tricky part, because a lot of times, of course, we're all busy and we see, hey, email warm-up tool, and we see, hey, this is also an email warm-up tool. Why is this one more expensive? Or like focusing on solely a few things rather than this one, which is doing everything. So I asked my brother to prepare a little bit what makes the difference here. Yeah. What you get with the average email warm-up tool is normally either a lorem ipsum text. These are these Latin characters that you get put together, or other random text that doesn't make sense. Now, thing is, Google's not stupid and spam filters are not stupid. If things don't make sense, either grammatically or because they are put together in the wrong wording or so, they will realize like these things are getting more intelligent every day. Yeah. Then another thing is, even if you have good text, people use the same text again and again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're frozen. I think you're frozen there, but I can hear you very well.
Is my screen sharing working?
Not you're not sharing the screen. You actually could you
Okay,
share
let
this?
me rejoin really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, sorry guys. Looks like his screen sharing wasn't working. But what the user partner on the screen? Oh, let's see. Okay, you're
Okay,
back. Okay,
I'm
excellent.
frozen. Back. Okay,
Sorry about
cool.
that. Yeah.
Okay, then again. Um, and if I freeze again, I'll join again.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Okay, what we just said is normal email warming tools, they use standard text, random text that doesn't make sense, and they use the same text again and again. And people realize, or spam filters realize, if you use the same text again and again. Then another thing is not everyone has that, but a limited number of receivers. If you only have 500 or 1,000 email addresses connected to your service, well, at some point you've got to send to the same receiver again and again and again. And then even the logic that they put behind this, sending it to them is often wrong. Yeah. Then what we are seeing quite often is that you either do not get responses, or if you do get responses, they don't respond in the same thread. Yeah. And then some people just say, yeah, like this is valid for all. They do warm up, like an incremental interval every day, like 2 emails, 4 emails, 6 emails, and so on, but not advanced scheduling. I will maybe go into that a little bit later. And then the thing that is also a no-go, like think about natural behavior. Like why would you send emails on weekends if most people don't send sales emails on weekends? It just doesn't make sense. And this is something that can even harm your reputation. And then the same thing, non-standardized times. If you're sleeping at 2 a.m. at night, why would someone send an email at 2 a.m. at night? Well, guess what? The average email warm-up tool does that. Now, what is a good email reputation tool? Well, the first thing is the text is as natural as possible. Ideally, it is a sales email text, because then spam filters and Google even realize that your sales emails are getting responses, which is a very good sign. You get responses to emails that are random, means not exactly 5 hours later or 10 hours later or 2 minutes later, but random. Like people respond sometimes 2-3 days later. And that has to be the same in an email warm-up tool. It's also important, and I think out of all the email warm-up tools, we've seen that most of them always use Gmail addresses. Some of them have peer-to-peer sending with custom domains, but you've got to have a normal population of email addresses with your sending behavior. If you don't do a normal population, again, you're not natural. You adapt to your time zone, you balance the sending based on the real emails that you send. I will go back into that later. And ideally, you use the network of all the other people that are using the email warming tool so that you can send peer-to-peer, because that even increases your trust. Yeah, and then you've got to control your response rates. And if you then want to still add on top of this, everyone tends to think, well, if I use an email warm-up tool, everything is going to be solved. Well, that's not true. Like, you still have to take care of everything else. And by that, for example, SPF records, DKIM records, HTML, not using any links, not using any tracking pixels in an email, not using too big of a picture ratio and so on, and setting up DMARC correctly. And all of that you ideally want in one tool, which also allows you to control your whole team. And we do think, and I think Andy and Thomas especially, that Mailivery is already the most sophisticated tool out there when it comes to that, but that it will even be way, way more sophisticated. And just to give you one example about this is the example of Mailivery emails with this other email warmers. Like, we set up an example here where we can see a few major flaws. First thing here is the sending time. Here it says it was sent at 1:10 a.m. and the response got in at 1:12 a.m. Now the question is, like, who sends an email at 1 a.m.? First, that's not natural. Second, who writes a super long response in under 2 minutes at 1:12 a.m. 2 minutes later? That doesn't happen. Yeah. Same thing here. Then, many thanks for your help. Undefined. Like, why do you use undefined as a variable? It can happen. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but it's just not a good sign. And then in general, when you read the text, you will realize it does not make sense at all. And spam filters are not stupid. They realize if something makes sense or not. Let's just take the second sentence here. In ancient times, their fish was, at this moment, a skillful nectarine. I think there's not much we can say about this. Versus Mailivery, where we send something at 2:42 p.m. and then respond 18, or I don't know if it's 18 hours later, but way later at 4:15 p.m. We use the right title of the people. We always there use a different greeting ending, and all the content in the emails makes sense and is generated by either AI text or real email.
So what you're saying is that Mailivery now is very natural. It looks like a real human interaction with your emails, whereas with the other one, it's some random thing that's being sent automatically. Like as soon as you send it, within less than a minute, you get back a reply, which means it's just it's not. It doesn't look natural. Is that what we're getting here?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I mean, just think about it. Like, you want your reputation to increase, and what do? You put in random text that you send back and forth. Like, something there doesn't make sense.
Okay, so yeah, it's that clear now. Now, another question. This one is now I'm gonna have to drop it. People have been asking the question of, I know exactly this is the answer to the question already, but people are asking, Salesforce right now is introducing this feature. Why can't people not pick up Salesforce, which does many different things in addition to Mailworm, compared to picking up just Mailivery? I mean, why would I, if I'm investing in an LTD, why not just take the one that gives me, somebody actually said something with four legs. rather than one leg, you know?
Yeah. I like the four-leg example, but um, from my perspective, I see dozens of SaaS tools every day, and I am even personally like not related as me as the investor for Mailivery. I bought SalesRocks. Yeah, I think I bought it like a 6 or 8 stack. I bought it like half a year ago. And one thing that you learn pretty early, doesn't matter if it's Y Combinator or in your masters, I studied entrepreneurship in my masters, is focus. And most startups that I see in the SaaS world, and we're a management platform for SaaS at one tool. We see which tools are getting used and which ones are not. But most of them have focus. And it's incredibly hard to make a good product if you're trying to be everything. And I'm not saying that SalesRocks has this problem. I don't know them too well or so on, but I know that I cannot use it. As someone who's doing quite a lot of sales, I've tried to use it. I wanted to use it, and I'm I would be really wishing for them that I could use it. But I do not think that either their company searching function, nor their lead searching function, nor their email verification function, nor their drip campaign function, and of course the email warming function I haven't seen because it's not live. But none of the features that I've seen so far are really well developed. And I understand it's completely okay. Yeah. But you've got to decide at one point. Do you want to do one thing really good? And I think Andy and Thomas, they have decided they want to do email reputation management and email warming really good. Or do you want to do 6 things somehow decently? And then that becomes dangerous for email reputation because decent is not enough. You've got to be better than everyone else. Yeah, which doesn't mean like SalesWorks is it probably an amazing tool. For me, I wasn't able to use it so far. I think I lost you on my microphone.
Yeah. I'm muting myself just to make sure you get it. So what you're saying is, while you think, generally, what you guys do is focus. You choose to specialize in, using artificial intelligence to mimic as natural as possible to work with email reputation, whereas with Sales Rock, it's all over the place. They're doing too many things at the same time, and none of them is being done really well. That's just the point. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yes, let me not try to. I'm not trying to be like disrespectful of SalesFront. This is super hard to build a super nice SaaS startup, and I'm very sure they're doing a good job. But let me tell you from my own experience. Like when I founded one tool, I wanted to be the App Store for SaaS. And the App Store for SaaS means that you're not only able to manage all your SaaS in one place, but you can actually create licenses and people can buy it and you can upgrade and downgrade and do all the stuff. Like I wanted to do the full App Store. Yeah. And everyone agreed with me, all the investors, and that's how we got into Y Combinator. Yeah, they were all like, "Yeah, this is awesome. This is an awesome vision." But there's a big difference between having an awesome vision and actually realizing it. Because once you work on it, you realize, fuck, this is fucking complicated. You're basically building 6, 7 products in one. Why don't you focus on one of them? And I can personally tell for myself, like this is my fourth startup. I always failed when I did something, and that's why one tool is how it is today. I always failed with these things when I did so many things. Focus is always better, and that's why one tool today is just the SaaS management solution and not the App Store for SaaS because it was too hard to build. And you start with something that you do really, really well, and then you develop in another thing that you do really, really well. But you normally don't start with 10 things that you do really well. That doesn't work. And that does also mean I don't know where Mailivery goes. We've got to ask Thomas or Andy for that. But maybe they will develop a drip campaign module for it. But I know one thing for sure, their first incentive is to make email warming and email reputation so well that no one else is going to do it better.
Put it this way. Okay, excellent. So the point now is that people are saying, look, you are asking for $79 for one email account. The other guys are giving 5 email accounts for only $129, including all the other things that they're doing. Now, the text is maybe different, the artificial intelligence and everything may be different, but what they're saying is that still cost-wise, it doesn't cost much for you to give more accounts. Why is Mailivery more expensive than the other deals?
Well, because that's not correct. Like just the artificial intelligence server alone, as far as I understand, costs 800 euros a month. Yeah, and that is just with a small scale that it has right now. As more users come on board, the more expensive it gets. And I'm the investor, I'm paying for it. But I agree. Yeah, it is not a cheap lifetime deal, but sometimes you've got to see if someone is doing something so focused, maybe it's worth to invest in that rather than investing in something that you cannot really use in any areas. And this is about your email reputation. You know, if you're selling one thing more a year, you're paying $79 for this. You've got a, well, I don't know, 10x on return. Like this is going to be worth it. But if the other email service warmer harms your reputation, therefore you're not selling anything more a year. Like,
Okay. So let me ask this question. This was a very confusing question. I mean, point for a lot of people. This is the question they're asking me. Let's say I bought an agency. Okay. I have a sub user. Like, let's say I have five. I paid the 495. After the discount, it comes to $396. Of course, that brings about to $49 an account. Now I have the main account. I'm the main account holder. Can I assign sub accounts? And if my sub account guy doesn't pay me this month, let's say I'm selling this to my client as an agency, can I remove that and replace them the same month, the same week, the same day?
every second, whenever you want.
Okay. So you
like
can.
literally, let me go into it really quick.
Yes, show us
Because
please
if
the
that was
agents
such a big
feature.
thing.
Excellent.
Yeah. One thing. Here it is. Yeah. You do that in your user management section, and you have complete control of who you invite. Yeah. You can set up. Like, let's start from the beginning. In this case, I am exactly on this plan that you mentioned. Yeah. The middle plan, which gives you 8 accounts. Yeah. In this case, I could decide that Ralph Siegel right now is getting, I don't know, let's give him 5 accounts. Yeah. And once I do that, this guy has now 5 accounts. And we can see we only have 1 account available out of the 8. If I, for some reason, this is a client of yours or it's a team member and you don't want him to use it anymore. Yeah. All right. You just click on delete user. This user is gone. He's not going to have access to it anymore. And of course, you can then immediately give that available number of accounts to someone else. And it's not only that you can invite one user per one account, but you can also determine how many accounts these people are. So it gives you maximum flexibility in terms of either selling it to some of your clients or using it for your teams and controlling who's going to connect how many email accounts.
Perfect. That's a good point. Definitely good point here. So then, yeah, a lot of people are asking that question. So the change in the account's email and for the 6-month thing is just the main admin account, right? It's not. Yeah, Raj is asking
Yes.
that question. Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
As
So
far as
changing.
I understand this, yeah, the way it is, yeah, of course, what shouldn't be happening, and I think that's the reason behind this, yeah, is that someone buys this lifetime deal and then they go out immediately while the lifetime deal is still going on and are reselling it. That's why there's a 6-month limit, right?
Right.
So it's really just for the admin email address that you cannot change during the first 6 months. Afterwards, you can do whatever you want, as far as I understand.
Excellent. Somebody has been asking this question: is there a split payment option?
I talked to Andy about this today, and I think there is for the top 3 plans, like the 3 highest plans, there is a payment split option for 3 payments every 4 weeks.
Right.
But it's going to be manual. It's not going to be connected automatically. And if you want to do that, just text Thomas or Andy, and they will be happy to help you out. It will be taking a little bit longer to set up until you get access to it.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, of course, Gordy is here. He's gonna answer all your questions. Again, he's the main investor in Mailivery. Oh, let me ask this question: are you guys gonna use this for your own business? Is that why this tool was developed, or Did you guys need it?
We are going to use, yes, we are going to use that for the business as long as I am allowed to use it, of
All right.
course. We also have investors and they need to be okay with that. If we have any interest conflicts or so on, that's not okay. But yes, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Text to Thomas or Andy to set up manually. That's the answer. Yes. Yes, Raj. That's right. You're right. Excellent. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So if there's any other questions there, I will ask them. So let me see here. And in terms of the pricing, we already talked about that. I think in our last update, we updated the pricing. Did you want to go over the pricing quickly, just to show people why it's straightforward, not expensive? Because to be honest, if you look at the agency, and it's five, five, they get five, no, eight account. Was it eight accounts?
8 accounts, I think, yeah.
Eight accounts. Then it becomes about $49. Did you want to go through it, just so people not understand it?
Yes. 1 second. Absolutely. Let me open that really quick and share my screen. But that to be, I'm not sure how far you are with Andy about this, but he mentioned that you are renegotiating pricing and features again today.
Yeah.
Like, have you made any progress on this?
Which one?
On new features? I don't know what's the status there.
No, I haven't seen the new features. I haven't seen anything new today. Anything?
Okay. Because what Andy mentioned is that he's thinking about adopting the pricing again, and that
Okay.
he's even thinking about making one deal, like 2 lifetime deals. One is the sophisticated one, this one, and the other one is the one which is just like normal email warming, which will be way cheaper, but will also not have the sophistication of the other one.
Ah, so that's new to me. Okay, so then one is going to be the AI powered one. The other one is going to be the regular one that is what everybody's providing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I have the link. I don't know. Do you guys want to see it? And then you can give us feedback if that is relevant.
Sure,
Otherwise, I can
sure.
quickly
Let's
also
see.
go.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Let's see. That
Okay.
could change the game for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the sophisticated one first.
Mhm.
Yeah. And maybe this is as it is live right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe he is going to increase the features for that one as well. And by features means the price is probably going to stay the same, but
Right.
he's probably gonna, when if he doesn't increase the email accounts that you can connect to it.
Right.
But the way it works, the pricing is always you get a 20% discount with this code DigitalThink20.
20.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's another discount code DigitalThink minus rules,
Oh.
which is also 20%. Yeah, which works for every plan. Now, what you can here do here.
So
Let's
sorry.
go for this example.
Digital thing
Yeah.
minus rules. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I think that's for the new one, for the new other lifetime plan that
Okay.
that
Okay.
you're
Okay.
looking at.
Minus rules.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so let's just go into this example. Like this plan, 297 minus 20% for 4 accounts and all feature upgrades of the Outreach Pro plan. Now, as you can see, the Outreach Pro plan is currently the really high plan on the website, where it uses real email text and AI generated GPT-2, GPT-3 machine learning text and so on, so that you get as individualized content as possible. And what this says is, if you buy this, you get all Outreach Pro plan updates. Now, one thing that is important is you can send up to 65 Mailivery emails a day here. Now, any other email warmer out there, like they max out at maximum 50 or 40. Yeah. And just to give you an idea of what you really need, I also let that put together. If you send under 100 real emails per day, then you need 15 to 20. If you send 100 to 200 real emails a day, then you need 20 to 30. If you send out 200 to 500, 35 to 55 Mailivery emails. And you can see you only really need the 65, 75 if you're really per email address sending more than 1,000 emails a day. Yeah. And that's what you can see here. Like this is maxed out. This is a really, really big stack. And then of course it even increases with the amount of codes that you stack. And the same thing with response rate. You should normally not put your response rate to 30, 35, 45, or 50%. Like do that very carefully because doing too much is also bad. So in this case, I would advise you just keep it low at 20, 25%, scale it up slowly, and don't max it out, but it's already a lot. And then the team management features, I know Andy talked about making available for every plan. And then in addition, it has everything which has the sophistication, like the email scheduling logic with the natural behavior, the peer-to-peer sending, the scheduling function, which is going to come soon. It will also include, as far as I know, DCAM, SPF, and DMARC checkers. It will also probably going to include checkers for your link building and how many, not link building, but links that you're using in your emails and how your HTML content to make sure that this is going to be delivered correctly. And this is basically the fully fledged thing. This is basically everything they have to offer with the full thing. And now what they're thinking of, and now that being said, it's not live yet, yeah, and it's something to be discussed, yeah, which is more competitive to, for example, Sales Rocks, what you said out there. There,
Right.
you still get awesome deals, but you just get the features that other email warming tools have too. So not the AI generated super sophisticated stuff, but it works also fine like every other email warmer tool. As you can see here, it's way cheaper. You get a lot of accounts, but just be aware, like you've got to decide at one point, do you want to just be the normal email sending and email warming behavior, or do you want to be a little bit on top of the competition to outcompete them? And that's the only question that you've got to ask yourself here. But you can see here, like you get, I don't know, 15 email accounts for like $236 with code, which is incredibly cheap.
Okay, so now this it's with the code now. That's gonna be 47. The other one is gonna be 142. The other one is gonna be 236, 472, 944. Is that with the digital thing 20 minus rule?
That's with
Digital
the
thing.
this is digital think minus rules. But again, this is something like I'm asking the community if that is interesting for you guys. I certainly cannot take the decision, but Andy and Thomas, they will be happy to hear your feedback about this. What's
Okay.
not included here, yeah, is all the advanced stuff, like the complete scheduling feature. Let me show you what that actually is. Scheduling means not only ramping up, but being able to
Ah.
control every single day, yeah, of
Mm-hmm.
your emails. Now, why do you use that? Because you want to keep your overall emails steady, very steady. And if you have too many highs and peaks and so on, also not good for your reputation. And that's what no other email warm up tool out there is doing. And also what you're not getting, what you're getting with the Unknown is this one, which is the future feature, which also says you on which domain blacklist you are, IP blacklist, SPF, like basically everything related to um, other stuff than just email warming, which is going to be part of the new Mailivery features, of course. Yeah. So don't think in terms of the premium lifetime deal as something like this is not just email warming. Like they are trying to put a whole product behind this. And the other one, if you want this deal, we can put it live. It will just not have the features because they are very server intense and heavy. And then you can just get normal email warming without the fluff around it.
Okay, okay. Do you know the link for that deal, new deal? We can discuss, no problem. If that's what people are looking, yeah, if that's what people are
Yeah, I
looking.
think Mohammed, you have to discuss that with either Thomas or Andy before, because I'm just the investor. I cannot make the decisions here. But I think if you discuss that, if that works out, like, and if the feedback is great in the market, then it's probably something they can do.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Let me check on here if I have everything going on well. Yeah. So I don't know. I can see you. Okay, you're back here. Okay, so yeah, let me send me the new deal. We discussed with the group if that's what they want. That looks like exactly the kind of comparison they've been looking for. So if you want the regular mail warming, here is your price. If you want the AI powered, natural looking automated system, here's your price. You choose. That way we don't have to have people going back and forth comparing pricing being too high for them, right? So I think then people will understand the difference between why they had to pay for a little bit higher in order to get the real deal, right?
Yeah, I would say, right after this top call, why don't you just connect with Andy
I will,
to
for
talk
sure.
about this?
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Yeah, I'll connect with him. No problem. Well, that I think if there's any question, so somebody asked, why is it that I can't? So let's say I get an agency, right? Why can't I connect all my agency with one same email account? Let's say I have 5 different email accounts or 8 different. I want them and send all of them from one email account. Why can't I do that?
I think the answer is very clear, because it would break the natural behavior. Yeah. Just imagine you have this whole setup of like 5,000 email addresses live soon. Yeah. And you have the
Right.
whole peer-to-peer sending thing. What happens if one person all of a sudden sends out not 65 emails? And I just told you, like 30 emails, 40 emails is already a lot. And now someone is sending 3,000 emails out. Like
Right.
this is going to break the whole thing. And then this person is not only going to harm his own reputation, but everyone else's, all the customers. And that's why you don't want this to happen. Not in your interest. Either you're
Right.
going to harm your own reputation and you're going to harm everyone else's for sure too. And that's why they are protecting against it.
Okay, excellent. I think that answers one of the questions, which was from Lucian Mamaliga. Okay, excellent. Yeah, which is of course it's detrimental. That's what we say, that it's not good for your emails. That's basically the answer to that. Okay, so I
And
think
also,
we.
to be honest about this topic, yeah, because when that question comes up and it's like, hey, I want to send 1,000 emails out to warm up 1,000 a day, like I would be really curious, like, what is the use case? Like, in all my 10 years of experience, I've not seen a use case related to sales and outreach which could fit that, because that would literally mean you are warming out a list with, I don't know, a few 100,000 emails a day, yeah, and then this is marketing. And marketing is a whole different game than sales automation, sales outreach, and all that stuff that like sales tools are doing. And then it's just not a fit.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So this is great. Now the main takeaway from here is that the Mailivery deal is basically the best it gets when it comes to mail warming. It gets you all the features, natural AI powered system, unlike the other deals that are sending some random emails, automatically responding them with no control over. It's not natural, and the pricing may be a little bit pricier for the AI because it costs a little bit more to do the maintenance and even the technology and everything. But if you want something that's offered by SalesRock or Outreach Bean or any of the tools out there, Lemlist, well then there is an answer for you. We are coming up, probably we're going to talk to Andy about this, but we're coming up with a deal that will make it easy for you to use the same features as all these other tools, but we'll have all the AI, the scheduling, everything stripped off it, so you don't have to pay too much for it. So hopefully that will solve the pricing problem we've been going through in the last few days where people still, don't get me wrong, the deal is selling okay, it's not, but it's not as selling as crazy as our deals always sell, because there's so much distraction around this deal. Everybody's like, we're doing mail warming without knowing exactly how and what it takes to get all this done, right? It's not easy, right? So I'm glad that
Yeah.
Gordy's here today to educate us,
Let me step
basically.
in here about this again, because I think this is also very important. I love lifetime deals. Like I buy them all the time, and even at one tool still, we are using many lifetime deals and not paying for a lot of deals. But I think it doesn't matter if it's Mailivery and Andy and Thomas, or if it's any other lifetime deal owner. These guys, they have to be thoughtful about their resources, and they have to think at one point, like, how do we get MRR? And now they are doing this deal because I told them, hey, I love lifetime deals. Let's do it. Yeah. And I'm their investor. I'm basically paying for it, even if it doesn't go well. Yeah. But um, I always tell them, like, your primary focus has to be MRR, and you've got to look out for people. And now here's the thing. If you also do a lifetime deal, which is incredibly cheap on the one side, people also in the enterprise space will hear about it. And then you cannot sell it on an MRR basis anymore because you burned your reputation. And that's a trade-off that these people have to do. And I know it. Like we sell contract values of like $40,000, $50,000. Yeah. And there are people out there, sales teams that have so much money, they're willing to pay a lot of money for a very sophisticated warming tool. And that's why you still keep the balance. And it's still an awesome deal because you're one of the very early adopters. And there's probably also bugs that you have to report and you have to be, forgiving towards them. But be aware that they have email lists of like 140,000 companies that have more than 5 salespeople in their teams, and they are selling that to them for a way higher amount. I think you're still muted. Can you guys hear him? I can't. I can't.
Oh, sorry about that. I muted myself again and unmute myself. Okay, guys, thank you so much for the time for joining us. This is great. I was muted myself. That's right, muted. Um, because you asked for that, so I had to do that. And yeah, any questions? No more questions, right? It's coming to the hour almost, 4:55 now. So it's I don't know what time it's for you.
Almost 11 p.m. here. No
Okay,
worries.
we're gonna end it there. But let's see what the new deal looks like, and then you can send me. Once we have the final decision, please let me know so that we can. That should be an answer to the market demand,
Cool.
right?
Well, one thing I have one question for you now that you are always interviewing me.
Right.
Do you have an all-time favorite lifetime deal? Something like that you really, really love?
That's a good question. Yes, an all-time lifetime deal that I always use. Honestly, there's quite a few of them, but the main one, because I use it all the time, actually is I have Ecom Live on LTD. I use it a lot. You don't like it, I know, but I love it. It's been very, very steady for the last few years. I also use Restream a lot. So for me, the main the main ones are the ones that I use almost every day, and without paying for them every month, it makes me feel happy about it. Always, like, Restream is a good deal, to be honest, from Absumo. And another deal that I love and I use a lot also in my real life, business every day is Big Marker. People don't know this, but I've been using Big Marker for, doing my presentations for, especially using it for my online school. I run a school, a private secondary school. Actually, that's where I came from before I came here today. So, yeah, so those are some of the ones that I use a lot. Other than that, everything else now, it's too many deals. To be honest, I spent $50,000 on LTDs. $50,000, right? What
So you
about you?
probably have every single one, huh?
Yeah, which one do you use a lot?
In my case, like the old ones, like I used to, when I started sales outreach, I used to use Lemlist a lot, but then, they had, looking back, really bad features for a lifetime deal because they blocked you at 200 emails a day
Right.
for their drip campaigns. Um, DocSketch. I really
Okay.
like DocSketch. It's like document signing, super easy and super simple. Yeah, like I have a lot of tools that I like a lot.
Yeah, I think I skipped Doc Sketch because I had another deal that did the same. Because when Doc Sketch came, it was too late. I already had a DocuSign. I don't know if you remember. Same.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember.
Well,
That's
there's so many of the same deals all the time. I used to have, I don't know how they're even called, like a Client Joy is pretty new, and then Proposify, and then DocSketch, and
yeah.
all these proposal software things.
So many proposals.
So many of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I have too many project management tools, too many. But to be honest, oh, again, I don't know if you have it. P Cloud is also good. P Cloud is very good, very solid. Oh, cannot hear. Somebody can't hear me. Sorry. What happened, Matthew? Can't hear me. Can't hear anyone.
I can hear you well. Well, okay, maybe it's time to call it the day. Go to
Yeah,
bed
yeah,
and,
we're gonna
sleep.
call it the day, guys. The point is, we're gonna revise a deal that's similar probably or better than one of the deals out there, but will lack and be stripping all the AI features that power this deal. Right. Yes. So
Yes.
hopefully.
And then, like one word about like Thomas and Andy, that just please bear with them. They're answering a lot of questions. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, but you know how stressful these lifetime deals are. They are having a lot of fun with that. They're a little bit more shy. That's why they asked me to come on this meeting and to do that, because I'm standing on stage quite a lot, and they're doing an awesome job, and that's why I invested in them.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. That was one of our best presentations from the Mailivery team investor, Andy, Brown, who's also well known for his work with the OneTool.co or .co, which works with a lot of enterprise companies already. So hopefully we can gain from his experience. And yeah, so we'll share the link for that new deal if everything goes good and according to plan, and let's see how it goes. So thank you so much for joining.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And if you have any more than 50 employees, also happy to talk about one tool.
Perfect. Thank you, brother. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.